Did you know that all Minions are male? Meaning Despicable Me contains a revolutionary same-sex kiss. Despicable Me 4 hits theaters this weekend, so here are some things I bet you never knew about the original. Despicable Me came from an original idea by animator Sergio Pablos. He thought what would happen if a main character's nature was to be bad, and he called it Evil Me. After working on Disney's Tarzan and Treasure Planet, Pablos opened up his own animation studio, Animagic. But he was struggling, it was not finding success, and wasn't making much money. Around this same time, Chris Maledandri was opening up Illumination. After 10 years leading 20th Century Fox Animation and Blue Sky Studios, Maledandri was looking for his first movie to launch Illumination. Pablos pitched Evil Me to him, and he loved it and bought it. Maledandri then hired some of his old collaborators from Fox to write and direct the movie. Cinco Paul and Ken Dario came on as screenwriters. They had written Bubble Boy, Santa Claus 2, and Horton Hears a Who at Fox. And Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud were tapped to direct Despicable Me. Renaud was a storyboard artist on the Ice Age movies. The director sought out actors with comedic and improvisational backgrounds, which is how Steve Carell, Jason Segel, Kristen Wiig, and Russell Brand ended up in the movie. Julie Andrews was chosen to voice Gru's mom because her persona is the complete opposite of evil. At first, she turned down the role, but later accepted. Steve Carell based Gru's accent on a mix of Ricardo Montalban and Bela Lugosi. There are a few theories where the name Gru comes from. It could be referencing the GRU, the Russian government intelligence agency, or La Grue, the French word for crane, perhaps defining the character's body shape. Pablos originally conceived Gru to be more Dracula-like, but the movie's directors later modeled him off of Goldfinger from James Bond. Illumination officially began developing Despicable Me in December of 2008. At the time of its release, Illumination only had 35 people on staff. Despicable Me had a budget of just $69 million. And I say just because a lot of other animated movies at the time cost more than double that. Illumination partnered with French animation studio MacGuff to animate the movie, and the entire movie was made with just 100 artists total. Remember Sergio Pablos' original idea, a main character who's bad? That became a point of argument between Maledandri and Steve Carell. At one point, Maledandri became worried that Gru was too evil early in the film and that it would turn off audiences. So he told the directors to tone it down a bit. But Steve Carell disagreed, saying Gru needed an edge in the beginning. Otherwise, it would lessen the emotional impact of his arc towards parental love. Maledandri relented, leading to the scenes where Gru pops a boy's balloon and freezes customers at Starbucks. Where did the Minions come from? The Minions were not actually in the script, but instead were invented by the directors and designer Eric Young during production. The original design for Gru's henchmen were more human-like before they became the little yellow guys we know today. They were inspired by the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka, the Jawas from Star Wars, silent film stars like Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, as well as the Looney Tunes. The movie's directors invented their language, Mignonese, which mixes gibberish with English, French, Spanish, Italian, and Indonesian. And the directors themselves did the voices of the Minions. In the canon, the Minions have existed since the beginning of life on Earth, and they want above all else to serve the world's most evil villains. And yes, it's canon that all the Minions are male. As Pierre Coffin once told The Wrap, he couldn't imagine women minions because the Minions are dumb and stupid. And so in the movie, after Gru shrinks the moon and the Minions are all celebrating, there's a same-sex kiss between two Minions, which might be a first of its kind. I tried to find out if there are any other family-friendly animated movies that had a gay kiss before this, and I couldn't find anything, but let me know if I missed something. You can see the Lorax on Margot's t-shirt throughout the movie. Illumination would go on to make the Lorax after Despicable Me. And you can actually buy the Sleepy Kittens book. Despicable Me opened on July 9th, 2010, 14 years ago this week. It made $60 million opening weekend domestic, and went on to gross $543.6 million total worldwide. This was a massive, unexpected success for an original animated film from a brand new studio. Universal did not have a foothold in the CG animated space before Despicable Me, and partnering with Illumination on the film's release turned out to be very lucrative for them. Universal's co-chair at the time called the film's success the single biggest game changer we could have. Critics liked the movie. Today, 80% of the 203 reviews assessed by Rotten Tomatoes are positive. It was nominated at the BAFTAs, Golden Globes, and PGA Awards for Best Animated Film of the Year, but it didn't get nominated for the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. It would go on to beat Toy Story 3, How to Train Your Dragon, and Shrek Forever After at the Kids' Choice Awards. Despicable Me, of course, launched a massive multimedia franchise that spawned 6 movies, more than 20 shorts and TV specials, a digital series, at least 3 video games, and a theme park ride and land. All of its movies together have grossed $4.6 billion at the box office, making it the most successful animated franchise of all time.